Hey Canucks fans, it's Sunday, so that means the return of Ask Me Anything. I'm Clay Emo, I'm at Canuck Clay on Twitter, I'm at Clayton Emo on Instagram. I'm the founder of the GLCPC, the Good Looking Canucks Positivity Club, and this is my Canucks take, all in one take. It's Clay's Canucks commentary for Sunday, September the 20th. This is where you get Canucks insight that's positive and timely. Yes, back to these. I'm resurrecting these weekly Ask Me Anythings. I thought it was a good time now that the Canucks are out. I know they've been out for a couple of weeks now, but now that they're out of the postseason and the fact that we're going to be moving into some really neat activity throughout the offseason. So I think this is really another good chance to connect with all of you. So I got 6 or 7 really good questions this week, which I'll get to in a second. I guess the other thing is, don't forget, because it's Sunday, another weekly thing I've been doing is my weekly live streams. So I invite you to join me at 10 o'clock here on YouTube tonight for my weekly live stream indeed. And a quick word about last night's game 1, Dallas defeating the Tampa Bay Lightning 4-1. Wow, 11 different scorers for 11 different players got on the score sheet for Dallas. 6 forwards and 5 defensemen. No surprise, given that the Dallas Stars have the most amount of points from a defenseman in the entire NHL postseason. So, yeah, I was actually surprised that maybe the score maybe flattered the Stars a tiny bit, 4-1, given that Tampa absolutely dominated the third period. I think they outshot them like something like 20-2 or 22-2. And there's an empty netter in there. So, in essence, a 3-1 game. But still, good on the Dallas Stars. And now they only have to win 3 more games compared to the Tampa Bay Lightning, who have to win 4. So we'll see how that series continues to progress. So let's talk about these questions that you guys asked me. So I did the call out yesterday, and I got a couple from YouTube, and most of them from Twitter this week. And I'd like to start to get into them right away. So my first questions are 2 of them from David Arthur. He's on YouTube, and he says this: "Hey Canuck Cray," I'm not sure if he did that on purpose. He says, "Hey Canuck Cray, do you drink beer?" And then the second question was, "Do you like the Montreal Canadiens?" So the first one's easy. No, I don't drink beer. Anyone who knows, been following me, knows that I don't drink alcohol, actually. I've never gotten drunk, so I don't know what my tolerance level is or anything like that, but I've never had to. In my 46 years of life, I drink a lot of pop, for better for worse, a lot of Pepsi, a lot of Coke, and then I drink a lot of water and fruit juices, of course, as well, but nothing of an alcoholic variety. And, you know, my late father could drink alcohol. My brother can't drink alcohol. My mom not so much, and me. So maybe I'm more like my mom that way. And the second question: do you like the Montreal Canadiens? I don't mind them. They're right in the middle of my favorite Canadian teams. I like Vancouver, of course. I like the Winnipeg Jets, and then I'd say Montreal and Ottawa are likely 3-4 for me. Then Toronto at 5, Edmonton at 6, and Calgary at 7. Calgary's my least favorite Canadian team. And I did like the Montreal Canadiens growing up, especially the old school Montreal Canadiens when I was really young. Guys like Guy Lafleur. Guy Lafleur was my favorite player growing up. And another small aside, kind of funny story. My dad, my late father, Larry, who used to play some pickup hockey, he actually had a Montreal Canadiens jersey, a sweater. So then me being the young, gullible, yet still good-looking, impressionable young man that I was, he would convince me that he used to play for the Montreal Canadiens. I believed him because I wouldn't know any better. And not that there are a lot of Asian guys in the NHL, even now, but even especially back then. And I probably didn't put 2 and 2 together as to why he was home every night as opposed to traveling with the team. But hey, I thought that my dad, Larry Emo, played for the Montreal Canadiens. So yes, I like them. I don't love them, but I certainly don't hate them. I'd say they're my 3rd favorite Canadian team. But admittedly, there's a big drop-off from Vancouver to Winnipeg, and then another massive drop-off from Winnipeg down to Montreal, Ottawa, Toronto, Edmonton, and Calgary. So thanks, David, for those questions. Now on to Twitter for the rest of them. Famous Goalhorns at Famous Goalhorn says this: "Do you see Boeser getting traded this offseason?" And then Ray Cook at RayCook27 says this: "I think trading Boeser would be a big mistake. To me, it's like trading away someone who is part of our family. What do you think?" So thank you, Famous Goalhorns, and thank you, Ray, for those questions. Obviously, both are related to Brock Boeser. No, I do not think the Vancouver Canucks should trade Brock Boeser. In fact, my vlog on Friday was about Thursday was about that very same topic. How I can see why it might be appealing. When you talk about Matt Dumba, it's equal money. Yes, we need a top 4 right shot D-man, but I do not. I made the points in my vlog that I don't think you trade Brock Boeser because if you trade him away, you're just gonna be looking for another top 6 forward. He is our top 6 forward. drafted by us, raised by us, basically, homegrown by us. And he's only played 3 seasons. Don't forget, it's not like he's a 6 or 7 year veteran. He's only played 3 seasons. His points per game is very good, 0.65, 0.7. So we just remember how good he was in his rookie season, and we think that he dropped off. But I think it's more like he's becoming a more complete player. So no, I do not think we should trade Brock Boeser, and I do not actually see it happening. Of course, anything can happen. I'd say Hughes and Pettersson are likely our only 2 completely untouchables, maybe Horvat. But regardless, I wouldn't trade Boeser. I wouldn't trade him for Dumba. You'd have to really get a really nice package back for Boeser. But no, he's part of this young core. He wants to be here. I think the Canucks management love him. Now, 2 years from now, when his contract winds up, we have to give him at least a $7.5 million qualifying offer. Maybe it's a different story then. But for now, I don't see him getting traded. I don't want him to get traded. I think he's a very important piece of this team. You could slot him in right behind Pettersson and Hughes, Horvat, and Markstrom as maybe a Miller, I guess. Still a very, very key player for our team. Navaneeth Ravichandran at NavRav28 says, what's your prediction for the Seahawks this season? I think they're going to do well, especially given that a lot of the San Francisco 49ers are getting hurt this week. I see the Seahawks winning their division. I see them finishing with a record of 11-5 or 12-4. And I was really impressed by the way Russell Wilson played last week and the entire team. They're a complete team. Their offense looks very balanced. So I expect them to do very well, Nav. And who knows, if they get to the Super Bowl, maybe it'll be time for a third Seattle Seahawks parody song. Ken Allen Jr. at Ken Allen Jr. on Twitter. Now, this was kind of funny because when I did my call out for questions, I said, you can ask questions such as, what's going to happen with Markey? What is the GLCPC? Why do I like Japanese food so much? And why am I so good looking? So Ken flipped them back and he basically asked 3 of the same 4 questions. What is the GLCPC? It's the Good Looking Canucks Positivity Club that I founded. Why do I like Japanese food? I'm not sure if he's asking me or him, but for me, it was a treat growing up. I'm half Japanese, half Chinese. We'd eat more. My mom would cook more Western style food and Chinese food at home. So Japanese food was always a treat. So I always treated it as a treat growing up. Sushi, sashimi, all that stuff. I've been in Japan, not China. Was very close to my dad growing up. And the fact that there's fewer Japanese people in Richmond where I live than Chinese people, I think all those reasons made me resonate more with my Japanese side. Why am I so good looking? Well, I've had it since birth. Obviously, I say that kind of tongue in cheek, but I'm a decent looking guy. I'm not going to be on GQ any day soon, but I'm an okay looking guy for a 46-year-old dad. Not sure what 46-year-old or dad has to do with it. And then the actual question that I think I should answer properly was, will Markey go to Calgary? Gosh, it's so crazy. I definitely think the Canucks aren't going to trade him to a rival in the division. But if the Canucks and Jacob Markstrom cannot come to terms on a new contract, I've talked about that many times on this channel before, then Jacob Markstrom can obviously go wherever he wants. And Calgary may be an appealing situation for him, given that the 2 guys they have right now probably aren't doing for them, and that would be Rittich and Cam Talbot. And we saw that at the end of the way the Flames truly flamed out against the Dallas Stars in that first round matchup. So we'll see. Of course, Markstrom can go wherever he wants, depending on what teams want him, but it would be very painful to see him to go to a division rival if indeed he does not re-sign with the Vancouver Canucks. Adrian Pashby at AD Pashby on Twitter says, do you see Cole Lind breaking the roster for next season? Good question, Adrian. I don't see him. I don't see him making it next year. I see him being at least 2 years away. When I think of the Canucks rookies that will make it next season, I think Rathbone and Juolevi will be battling for that third left D spot behind Hughes and Edler. I think so. That's Rathbone and Juolevi. I think Brogan Rafferty will get a chance to fight for the third pairing right spot D. And then on the back end, I don't think Lind makes it next year. I think he's going to make it the year after, or at least have the best shot, even though that's the same year that Hoglander and Podkolzin are coming in. But maybe those are 3 really good middle 6 forwards that you can bring in as rookies and save some money on their ELCs that way. But next year, especially Boeser and Toffoli are back. And even if they move out a little bit of money in the bottom 6, you still have Zach McEwen waiting in the wing. So even if they move out a guy and Virtanen goes, I think Zach McEwen takes one of those spots. I'm not sure if Lind gets in before a guy like Justin Bailey. So there's still Louis Eriksson, as you know, as well. So we'll see what happens there. Good question though, Adrian, but no, I don't think he breaks the roster, cracks the roster next season. Lastly, Kinkster1903 at Kinkster1903 on Twitter says, would the Rangers be willing to move their pick for Boeser and a 2021 first? No, I don't think that's enough. I think they're going to get the first overall pick. Obviously, they won the draft lottery. They have Alexis Lafreniere ready to go, ready to take him. And you could argue that Lafreniere projects to be a better player than Boeser. Then you're probably saying, well, that's why I said Boeser and a 2021 pick, first round pick. But the Rangers would have no guarantee of where that first round pick is going to be. Let's say we finish in the top half of the league, and then the pick would be in the bottom 15 spots, like this year. New Jersey through Tampa ends up getting our 20th overall pick. So basically the start of the bottom third of the draft. All to say, no, I do not think the Rangers or any team would trade number 1 overall for Brock Boeser and 2021 first when you don't know where that is. If the 2021 first was top 3, top 5, then maybe you can at least consider it, right? A top 5 pick and Boeser for Lafreniere, but Lafreniere is going to be that much better than Boeser. At least that's what they're projecting already. Remember, Boeser was only picked 23rd overall. So if you're saying Lafreniere is better than Boeser, you're going to have to make up that gap somehow. I'm not sure if a first round pick where you don't know where it's going to be, if that's going to be enough. But great thought, Kinkster, but I just don't think that's enough to make it happen for the Rangers. So there we go. A good 6 or 7 questions there. Some really nice variety. Everything from what I drink to the Canucks to next year to the off season to the NFL. So thank you for submitting those questions. I hope I answered them to your satisfaction. And I'll be doing more of this kind of thing live though tonight at 10 p.m. on YouTube. So I hope you join me for my weekly live stream. In the meantime, leave a comment. You can react to anything that I said. No real question of the day today because I answered your questions. Or maybe a question today would be, are you surprised at the 4-1 score of Dallas over Tampa Bay yesterday? Leave a comment. I love to read, react, and reply. Subscribe if you like to. Like this video if you like to. Take care of yourself. Take care of each other. Stay safe and stay healthy. Hope to see you tonight, 10 p.m. right here on YouTube for my weekly live stream. God bless and go Canucks go.